Rope. I told you they wouldn't remember. Someone remembered. Thank you. Up next, after our intermission, it's a hero and a half shell. Welcome to the stage, Zaneer.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zaneer Mitha. Anyone recognize that name? Yeah? Well, airport security always does. It's not easy growing up Muslim in America. I got my first TSA check when I was 5 years old. They pulled me to the side, they swabbed my hands, and then they put the swab into this machine and it read 80% Cheeto dust. I'm like, yeah, that does check out. And that's crazy because, you know, growing up, when I was 5 years old, I didn't know how to read a book, but I knew how to recognize the enemy, and so I was sassy with TSA. And you know, every one group of people has that other group that they get a little uncomfortable around. For Muslims, it's TSA. For black people, it's the cops. For white people, it's black people. And there wasn't anything illegal on my hands that day. I don't know what else they were expecting from a 5-year-old. I didn't get recruited by ISIS until I was at least 7. But the crazy thing is that the scares of TSA like end once you cross the line. So like I'm nervous, I'm gonna get checked, whatever. And then the second I get past the officers, I feel like the coolest person in the world. Like I get into this mental state where I know I don't have anything on me, but I'll start acting like I do. Like I'll be like, you didn't find anything on my hands, but you didn't catch this C4 in my backpack. Or I'll like try to scare the people around me, so like I'll take a seat in the plane, and then I'll just hold my backpack across my chest. And then I'll just be like, beep. Beep. Beep, 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 beep. Reach inside, just pull out like a bag of Sun Chips. I did introduce myself to somebody recently and I said I was Muslim. And his first instinct was to be like, oh, some of my friends are Muslim. And I was like, yes! We can trust him, he's worthy, and now we can like continue with this friendship now that I have this crucial bit of information. You know what's crazy though, because I'm Pakistani and he was Indian, so the hatred is a little more deeply rooted. And this past weekend, the two countries had a cricket game, and Pakistan won for the Pakistan won for the first time since the history of that league. And see, when these games happen, it's like the biggest thing ever. It's like Avengers Endgame, but it's just a random week in the middle of the year. And see, Indians aren't allowed in Pakistan, and Pakistani players aren't allowed in India, so every time they do play, they just throw it in like the UAE. And it's just the funniest thing because it's like the Celtics and the Lakers are having a playoff game, Game 7, but it's just in like Topeka, Kansas. And so my Indian friends would come up to me after and they would congratulate me and they would shake my hand. But I noticed their grip was a little too tight. So I'd mess with them, I'd be like, you know, we won the game today, but we're gonna win the war on Kashmir tomorrow. If you're Indian, you probably didn't like that joke. If you're Pakistani, you probably also didn't like that joke. But I do love Indians though. Every time I meet somebody who's Indian, I'm like, oh, some of my friends are Indian. My best friend though is actually Indian. He's out here tonight, so shout out to him. I remember when we first met, his name is Rishi, and I saw his name on the roster and I was like, she sounds cute. First day of school comes around, she was a he, and he was still cute. And you know, I pull up on the first day of school, and we do a little head nod. I'm like, what's up? Second day comes around, we do it again. What's up? Third day of school, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, you're Zaneer, right? And I look around, and I lean back and whisper, I'm like, are you from TSA? Thank you, I've been Zaneer Mitha, thank you.
Happened to me before. I see a name and I think it's a girl and it turns out it's a guy on Tinder. It's always a disappointment.
It's really sad for you, Sarah. I'm sorry. Up next,